Today on Bridge City News, a Lethbridge man is dead after a tragic skiing accident near Castle Mountain Ski Resort. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh promises to fast-track a universal pharmacare plan for Canadians. And hundreds of concerned parents rally in Vancouver against BC's sex ed curriculum.
Your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A young Lethbridge man has died after a tragic skiing accident yesterday afternoon on Mount Hague near the Castle Mountain Ski Resort. The skier apparently fell down a rocky slope after being hit by loose rock. The two skiers with him attempted first aid and were joined by nearby hikers. Pincher Creek RCMP and park rangers also responded, but the 22-year-old died on the mountain. Alpine helicopters with rescue technicians from Alberta Provincial Parks had to complete a long-line recovery of the body. The victim's family members from Lethbridge were on scene. RCMP continued to investigate. Fort Whoop-Up in the River Valley of Lethbridge held its second annual Trader Day last night, a fundraiser that included live music and dancing, a bison chili dinner, and some black powder shooting.
This is our second year that we've been doing this event, so it's just it's growing. We're very excited this year that we have Phil Lethbridge and his band that is here. He's from Pincher Creek, and we also have the Black Powder Society here that are doing some demonstrations, some shoot-offs and things like that. So it's been a great evening, and we're quite excited to be able to do this out here in the beautiful Fort Whoop-Up, where where we're bringing history alive, really. So because you can just imagine being back in the 1800s, hearing the fiddle music playing, hearing the guns firing and things like that. It's just a great experience for anybody who's come down here.
If you have a hankering for some history, Fort Whoop-Up is open daily from 10 to 5 throughout the summer. We celebrate Father's Day today. For most, it's a time to gather as families and honor our fathers. But for some, it can be a difficult time. Ainsley O'Reilly reports.
Michael Rivard has been sober for 27 years, and he says he couldn't have done it without the grace of God.
As a Christian, I have learned that to say my name is Mike, I'm an alcoholic, I don't use that no more. My name is Mike.
His mission is to eventually open up a recovery center with a tough love mentality. He's also got a book coming out called Addiction, Life, Death, and Jesus. He wishes more Christians would give back too.
When God gives you the gift of being free from addiction, you got to pass it on. You got to give it back. And there are a lot of Christians that have beat addiction, and some give back, not a big percentage. When you see so many people hurting, not just in the drug and alcohol, but addiction. There's so many.
A former businessman and father, Michael has been through a lot. His teenage daughter doesn't live with him. His son struggles with addiction. And his 25-year-old daughter recently passed away. Father's Day is around the corner, and Michael says it'll be bittersweet.
27 years sobriety on Father's Day. And not hearing from Brittany, I don't know if I'll hear from the other two, and I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay. It really is. It's... Well, there's other fathers going through it too, other mothers too, other grandparents that are going through it. So I'm not in the boat by myself, and with my faith and prayer, I'll get through it.
A touching story. We have all messed up, but let's hang in there, dads. Claresholm, Alberta is one of just 11 municipalities in Canada to be selected to participate in the new federal government Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. The program will offer rural employers the ability to directly select immigrants to hire and also gives immigrants the opportunity to choose one of these 11 cities as their permanent home. Many rural areas would like to see the available workforce increased, hoping it will boost the economy. RCMP in Northern Alberta say they believe two bodies found in a house fire are those of a man and a child. One other person, a woman, was airlifted to hospital from the blaze in Plamondon early yesterday, which destroyed the residence. The Office of the Fire Commissioner and RCMP are investigating. Tensions were high outside the Vancouver Art Gallery yesterday when a rally against BC's SOGI 123 sex ed curriculum was met with a counter-protest. The anti-SOGI rally was organized by a group called Parents United Canada, which opposes what members call transgender extremism. A private security team encircled the speakers as counter-protesters tried to drown them out by singing, chanting, and drumming. Speakers at the rally included Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson, the former People's Party of Canada candidate in February's Burnaby South by-election. Ontario Premier Doug Ford marched in the York Region Pride Parade in Newmarket yesterday with uniformed officers from the local police service. Ford's involvement in the event comes after he said last week that he would participate in some Pride Month events, but not Toronto's Pride Parade, because of a decision to bar uniformed police officers from marching in it. Uniformed officers were first banned from that parade in 2017 over concerns of racial profiling. The Ontario Liberal Party has finalized some of the guidelines for its upcoming leadership race, setting the entrance fee at $100,000. Candidates will have until November 25th to register for the vote, which is set for next March, and those who want to vote in the race have until December 2nd to join the party. Ontario Liberals voted last week to stick with the status quo for selecting their next leader, with a delegated convention that will take place on March 6th and 7th in Mississauga. Concerned residents marched to Nova Scotia's Legislative Building in Halifax yesterday to demand action on what they call a healthcare crisis in the province. More than 50 people reportedly attended the march, including physicians who expressed frustration with the shortage of doctors in the province. Protesters said the shortage of family doctors is a major concern, and one organizer said there will be more rallies in the future. Early this morning, the Quebec government passed a controversial bill that gives the province's immigration minister more authority over who receives permanent residency in the province. It also allows the government to cancel roughly 18,000 immigration applications, some of them from people who have been on a waiting list for years. Before breaking for the summer, the legislature is slated to continue sitting to debate controversial secularism legislation. Bill 21 would ban public servants, including teachers, police officers, and prison guards, from wearing religious symbols at work. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh spoke today at the Ontario NDP convention in Hamilton, saying if elected this fall, the party will fast-track national pharmacare to ensure a late 2020 start date.
It's time for the party that brought Medicare to Canada to take a next major step forward. It's time. It's time to bring Canadians a historic expansion of the services that healthcare covers. For more than 20 years, even longer in some ways, Liberals have delayed and delayed, promising lower drug costs and delivering only excuses. They still haven't told us what their plan is on pharmacare. All we know is it might be a makeshift system that covers some and not others, will leave many Canadians without any of the protection they need. We know Canadians deserve so much better. So our vision starts by making sure everyone in our country has access to the medication they need when they need it.
A Leger poll suggests a majority of Canadians agree that the plight of Indigenous Canadians amounts to genocide. The survey followed that finding by the inquiry into murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls. But the poll also reveals that those surveyed could not pinpoint a particular act of genocide. 32% blamed Canada's British and French founders, and 25% blamed Catholic and Protestant churches. Another 21% said all Canadians share responsibility. Hong Kong's China-backed government has apologized over its handling of legislation that has sparked massive street protests, but it is still not canceling the bill. The proposed legislation would see suspects, including political dissidents, extradited to mainland China for trial. The bill has been suspended, but opponents want it to be simply canceled. Tens of thousands of protesters marched again today in Hong Kong. Argentina's main energy company says it's slowly beginning to restore electricity after a massive power failure left large swaths of the country and neighboring Uruguay without power. It's unclear how many people were affected, but the South American countries have a combined population of more than 45 million. The power company says on Twitter that electricity had been returned to 34,000 customers as of this morning. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, a 22-year-old Lethbridge man has died after a tragic skiing accident yesterday afternoon on Mount Hague near the Castle Mountain Ski Resort. And a look at weekend weather. There is a 30% chance of showers this evening and a risk of a thunderstorm, but clearing overnight with a low of 8. For tomorrow, sunshine early in the morning, then a mix of sun and cloud with a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. The high should reach 25 degrees. Media portrayals of fathers are often negative, but in reality, dads are an integral part of society. Hal Roberts sat down with retired pastor Abe Block to discuss how relationships between fathers and children can be improved. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News community calendar. The annual Dragon Boat Festival is coming up June 21st to the 23rd in Lethbridge, and there are several opportunities for volunteers to get involved in this fun event. Organizers are looking for ride-side assistance, help with administration and t-shirt tents, and more. For more information on how to get involved and to sign up, visit lethbridgedragonfest.ca. Come celebrate with your Latin American neighbors at the Festival Latino Lethbridge 2019, taking place Saturday, June 29th, beginning at noon at Exhibition Grounds, Pioneer Park. Presented by the Lethbridge Latin American Association, enjoy live music, dance performances, traditional Latin food, and more. All are welcome to this free event. For details, visit llaa.ca. And that's your Bridge City News community calendar.